What up? Just gonna do a reaction to some of this Adam and Wack show video.
So I just felt like I had to hold down the fort. I had to make sure we at least got into the 100,000 range. I couldn't. You look up and we ain't do no numbers. I had to make sure it's a total different dynamic without my guy.
It's almost like you're the father and I'm the wife.
I don't know what that.
I was off chilling, eating bonbons on the couch. You were bringing home the bacon.
Hey, listen.
No gay shit. That's not even gay.
I just wanted to make sure.
We're not even getting started yet. I got way gayer shit than that to say.
And the Adam and Wack show says 40,000. I made sure that.
Even solo, I don't think you're gonna do 40,000.
No, I'm just saying though. Like I wanted to make sure
even Smack did a solo podcast. He got 28,000, 24,000. So he gets money from the government to be retarded.
Which one is Smack?
The little dyke-looking one from Figmunity.
Yeah, you know what, Smack? Smack calls me, tells me to call in.
Oh.
And when I call in and run it up, I guess he gets checked about it.
Right.
And then he goes and tucks his tail like he don't know what happened.
He stay getting checked and he stay tucking his tail.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's
that's crazy.
He got a little bit of Custer in his blood.
There goes Adam talking that gangster shit again. Shit's gonna get him in trouble again from fucking from the feds, man. He should really watch what the fuck he's talking about. Talking all that gangster shit. He ain't about that life, man. You know what I mean? So stop acting like you're a gangster, Adam, okay? Adam 16.
On the exposures, and you pissed them off, bro.
Wait, you say that?
They read the work and got mad.
What work?
Brian Pumper.
Yes, I have another Brian Pumper video that's coming soon.
Oh, no, they running him right now.
Wait, really? Because
I swear they run. If I'm going there right now, they like, yo, what? They like, yo, what you had to send Adam? I said, what? I didn't look at it. I just told, bro, requested. He said, yo, man, F this dude. I said, what you mean? They like,
leave Brian Pumper's punk ass alone, man.
30 different times of burning somebody.
Wait.
No, they breaking it down right.
STD stuff.
Yeah, what?
Bro, they got everything. They got all his. See, when they said
now we're talking.
Burning somebody, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like if I go there right now, they're talking about it, right?
Okay, it's because all right.
I don't know what it did to you.
I basically wrote a whole video in a flurry. It took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I just wrote this whole video about Brian Pumper. It's gonna be coming out on my channel real soon. And I was talking. I asked you, I'm like, can the exposures look into his criminal stuff because I had heard that he had been charged with rape-related stuff, all this kind of stuff.
He got that.
But when you sent me the initial paperwork,
no, I didn't know that. I did not know that about Brian Pumper.
A bunch of stuff in 2022, and then nothing after that.
Fuck that guy, then, man.
Well,
but there wasn't a lot of details. It just said forced sexual coercion or some shit.
Oh yeah, don't leave that guy alone. Fucking
there wasn't a ton of information.
expose that motherfucker, man.
Whatever.
My bad.
Have them send all the rest of the stuff because. Just because they had it, I think they kept looking.
Yeah.
And they got, whatever they got is pretty detailed.
Okay.
It breaks down. He just told me, bro, this dude burned somebody 30 different times.
What?
The counts is, I guess, people.
You burn one person 30 times. I feel like after the first or second time, it's kind of like you're
people.
Oh, so he was just spreading something
I guess
around.
People was reporting him or something, right?
I just feel like herpes is not
oh my
that
god, he
serious,
fucking infected 30 fucking people?
No, that's one of my many
theories.
theories.
When you're talking about an STD, right?
Right.
And somebody that's in the porn industry.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, as a human being, you should know how to chill out. But if you're in the porn industry,
you're not a human being.
And you didn't burn, it's 30 different complaints, real complaints where you burnt somebody.
Right.
And you're in the porn industry.
That's not good.
Bro, that's crazy.
Don't they have to be checked every time they have to do a video?
Some sexual offenses.
Yeah. That's what I saw, forced sexual coercion.
I'm willing to believe Brian might have did some telling somewhere because we're seeing 4 years, but 288s and 264s and shit like that.
When I interviewed Nat Turner, he told me that Brian Pumper has previously taken the stand against people.
He had to because that doesn't.
Not a
the time don't fit the punishment.
Yeah.
Niggas don't get no 4 years for no R's, bro. I don't. You know.
I thought you couldn't tell and get time off on rapes and shit though.
Consistently at the bus stop, waiting around.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone.
Wait, when? Recently?
No, probably about.
I didn't think you could get time off for offenses like that. I didn't think you could work deals like that. Are you fucking kidding me? That's disgusting. Like, people should not be allowed to work fucking deals for fucking R-wording fucking cases. You know what I mean? Those fucking people should be like fucking charged at the highest levels of the law, man. Like, they should not be allowed to snitch and get at any time cut for that. That's fucking disgusting, man.
Ben.
About 6 months ago, 6 months ago, because I was trying to get him up here.
And what did he say?
No, he says, cool, I'm in a halfway house, boom, 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 bam. And he was a little hesitant, but, you know, I knew him from my boy Robbie Rob from New York.
Yeah.
DJ Robbie Rob, that's 50 Cent's DJ.
Who made the series called Life of a Porno N-Word, I believe, or
something like that.
Something like that was like the series they made about him.
But he was, he like, where? When I told him, he kind of looked at me, so I don't know y'all history.
Right. I'm guessing that, well, we have no history, but I'm guessing that the halfway house was basically like near the bounty hunters, because I'm thinking that that's probably why he got pelted with eggs there. Because that's like a random location.
Yeah, because why would he's not, if your halfway house is in Hollywood, you ain't catching the bus to walk around.
Nobody's going to that area unless you have a reason to be there. And I'm thinking that he was homeless because he always walking around with a duffel bag.
I seen him on Venice Beach.
A lot of people did, but when I'm searching his name on YouTube, it's like there's almost nothing for the last 6 months. So I'm thinking he might be locked up right now, or he got out of Dodge and he's living somewhere outside of LA, which also, he's kind of so famous that I would think that he would still get spotted even if he was out in Barstow or something.
Is it illegal to knowingly spread STD? Yes, in California, it's illegal to know. Yeah. So listen, but tonight, by the time we get off, they gonna send you a bunch of more stuff.
Oh, I gotta rush my current video out, and then I can make another video with that information.
Yeah, because he done pissed them off.
The criminal history of Brian Pumper.
It's one thing when I'm pissed off and I'm telling my team to go dig.
Right.
It's another thing when I give them a request to go find something for somebody, and they get mad about what they found.
Wow. So I've subjected them to a whole litany of sexual offenses that put them in a sour mood.
Well, you got to remember, my guys are like ex-military vets. You know what I'm saying? They're like regular people. These aren't no street dudes that's part of the exposure squad. You know, we got some ex-cons and some regular dudes, but we got military. But so whatever the hell they read, they like, hey, well, I don't mind. I said, no, I'll run it because he just want to hear it, and we gonna send him what you're running it off of.
But that kind of makes sense to me because he's been avoiding doing any podcasts. He hasn't done podcasts. He hasn't done porn, etc. So that would kind of make sense. He doesn't want to talk about why he was locked up, so he doesn't want to do podcasts, and then he can't shoot porn because he apparently has some terrible traumatic STD. That would make sense.
I believe he should have
allegedly.
Well, I guess he can't do that because they're gonna run his history. I was like, he should have just became a truck driver.
There's some mystery in his history.
Yeah, something going on.
Yeah, those truck drivers.
You know what?
That's kind of his lifestyle.
He got to go get him just an old lady.
I bet he got a couple.
And just lay up. Like an older lady. Like,
just live off.
You know, you see those pictures of the mismatched people? He got to do that.
Yeah, I feel like he tends to go in the other direction. Very, very young.
Who?
Brian Pumper. That's one of his many allegations that's been thrown out there, is that he was basically shooting with girls without properly IDing them or meeting them, f***ing them on camera, then making them get an STD. This is why he lost his deal with Evil Angel, which is like a really big porn company, is because he would find girls on the train, f*** them, make them get tested the next day, and then submit it. And then basically they ended up figuring out that that's what he was doing. But his logic was, I don't want to meet a girl and then convince her to do porn. That's no good from the porn perspective. It's like, that's coercion.
I have no idea what the hell. Now, I do porn. I just do what you call private porn.
Right. How often do you hold the camera, or do you set up a camera, or nanny cam?
Sometimes I set it up. This morning I knew I had to leave, so.
Would you trust me with some of that material?
What are you talking about, bro?
I would see you clap R&B's cheeks.
That's some gay shit.
No, it's not. I want to look at her.
Gay shit.
If I've got to watch you lay it down, then so be it.
That's weird.
It's not that weird.
Like this morning, you know, when I leave, I go through this little thing I do. It's just R&B time.
A couple hours of.
No, I wake her up at like 4:45.
That's
then
too
I
early.
position her in front of me. I give her this. What I do, I put on like a TV series on Netflix, because that's how I can time it. So I give her
Not a timer.
2-episode times worth of giving her an ass massage. She goes to sleep, like she be out, cause she lays on side of me, and I'm here. Then I got the oils, so I drip the oils down, and I massage her ass all down her thigh, like 2 hours, 2 episodes.
Of what show? Because many shows have different lengths.
This morning it was Narcos.
Those are probably like a good hour, right?
It was Narcos. It was Narcos.
Make sure you don't put Bluey on. Those
Then I have
episodes are
oils
like 9
like this,
minutes.
so I massage her and I do all that. And I just create all these different ways of massage. Like I use knuckles and
See, that's the content that I want to see. Yeah.
all kind of shit.
Yeah.
And
I want to see that.
And then I'll massage her feet. You know what I mean?
I'm working on a foot fetish.
You know, give her a little.
Tell about the truth. Tell that she massages your backside with the oils, okay? Stop fucking lying, Wack. Tell the fucking truth that you get your backside massaged with fucking oils and some other crazy shit, buddy. Maybe some dildos, allegedly. I don't know. I'm just saying. Everybody calls you three-finger Wack for a fucking reason, buddy. She's finger popping your ass.
Lollipop, the little toe action.
Okay.
Y'all suck my woman toes. I don't know about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Time to time.
and then you roll her over. Then you gotta, it's different. A lot of these dudes, they f their women. Sometimes that's cool, but sometimes you got to slow it down and you gotta that. R&B really taught me how to do the slow, passionate love.
Right.
She taught me that.
They don't teach you that in prison.
I mean, we knocking shit down, all just knocking it down,
in prison even. Yeah, knocking shit.
No, not prison. I'm just saying. Niggas that do time when we get out, we beating shit up.
Right.
By the way, go check out True Car. We got a song called "Beat It Up" with Coil Ray. Right, but we so what it does is it's kind of gift and a curse because it keeps her happy. But if I'm going by,
I heard Ari leaving fucking Wack. That's what I heard.
If she doesn't get,
no, just I'm gone. Cause once you pouring into your woman like that. And it's a disconnect to be away.
if she's that horny, I feel like you can't trust her.
No, I can trust my woman.
Yeah, but if she's that horny after a day and a half, I mean, what's a week gonna do?
No, it's not even about the sex. It's about just me being there.
Intimacy, love.
Yeah,
Right,
that's all it is. You know what I mean? See, you go home every day. So when I come back to Cali, I might be out here 2, 3, 4 days sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I got to do.
Right. That's what I need. I need to just stay here and work on my computer for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. Because I was streaming yesterday for like 4 hours.
Sometimes you got like a day and a half. I did it when I started to put together Blueface's rollout.
Wait, so you're anticipating him being home so soon that you think that you're already working on the rollout, or is it going to be like a year?
No, we're way out in a year.
Oh, okay.
He'll be home this year. But I thought about it. Most people come home, they drop some music, but you think about it, right? So if you're dropping some music, you got to go, hey kid, you run around, do some interviews, and you look up and you let some work. So I'm kind of like, one thing about Blueface, what makes him the star that he is he's in 3, we got boxing, we got television, we got mute, you know what I mean? So what I did is I set up a boxing match, a TV show, line up a TV show, and then I'm working on his music deal right now.
Who's he gonna box?
Nick Young.
Who's that?
Swaggy P from the LA Lakers.
Oh, right. That's
so
good.
Called him. We got that locked down. Got the TV show. We already scripted right now. So
Blueface is not a superstar, man.
So you don't believe in him as a rapper anymore? You think that he needs to focus on boxing and acting?
No, we're doing all 3.
Okay. Because I feel like I've always been an actual fan of his music.
No, see, you're missing it, right? So if he paroles, right, you got to remember, I understand my artist, right? If he paroles and got too much time on his hands, this is his first time on parole, right? So if he paroles to the camera, he's working. Now on that camera, guess what? Your boxing training, your studio, your music, you're doing all that, and you're mingling with the chicks, whatever we doing with that. So it's 3 different things going on simultaneously at one time.
He needs to be in the crib.
So
what's the main risk with him? That he goes back to the hood? Or
no, not
that he has all these toxic bitches around, he's getting in fights with them and stuff?
No, it's not even that. He can handle that. It's
Krishan Rock
is not realizing who he is.
Right.
He's so cool, he don't act Hollywood and bougie. You can't do what he did. If Creek would have did it, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So, and I think he realized that. So what we doing, his rollout is gonna consist of 3 things that's happening all at once. 1 month is gonna be the fight. Another month we might release some music. Another month we releasing the reality show is running as all these things are going on, and everything will be wrapped up in one. And then after that, quite naturally, that'll bring me to the top of the year, and then I can tour him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to go on that tour. I want to be more involved with the Blueface thing. I feel like
well, you already are.
Me and you as icons in the podcasting space,
are.
and him as a star rapper. I think we need to embed our brands together more and more.
You already are, and I'm glad you said that, because now I
good.
can write you into it.
Let's do
You
it.
already are. It's real. You know, anything I do, you do, and vice versa. You know, I'm that type of guy. Man, listen, what? You know, I caught a lot of flack when I first came up here.
Same.
Because you were like overly protective of Brick.
Okay.
On some real shit, I can say, I'm like, yo, he really got Brick back. This was really when it came to that, I knew, you know, just being who I am and understanding business, I kind of knew how to pipe down and only go so far with that because I knew where you stood with that. Why he started taking shots at you because you on vacation, like your vacation wasn't already scheduled before probably...
Oh, here comes Wack during the pot.
I mean, honestly, we spoke on the phone earlier today, and he said that comment about people having their feet kicked up in the sand while they're on vacation, he said that wasn't for me. Which, having a moment to think about it does seem kind of unlikely, but I'm going to cut him the maximum amount of slack because we had this nice phone call. It's like...
Because he saw the way you reacted.
That's the weird thing about me and Brick is that I feel like I got so much love for him that I kind of...
He showed his hand.
I give him a longer leash than I would give almost anybody else.
He showed his hand.
Well, but they're also, him and his girl both denying that they even really had a conversation with Sharp. His girl said that she spoke to him briefly, but that it wasn't anything of seriousness. But when Sharp went on his live stream or whatever, keep in mind Sharp is essentially a crackhead.
No, I'm not going to let him do that.
What? You don't think Sharp?
No.
I mean, there's a point where you drink and smoke enough cigarettes that you become a crackhead without crack.
Listen, because Sharp be thinking up against you, right? I just call it how I see it. It's one of them things. Bro, Brick is BSing, talking about he wasn't talking about you. He just saw your reaction, right? He saw your reaction, and he does what he does with everybody. He'll say something on camera, then you get on the phone with him. Oh, man, you know it really wasn't like that. I was just trolling, just content. He got on that phone with Sharp, because I'm going to be real. I was already hearing this thing about his final check. First about the final check.
Okay.
It was all, and I just didn't say nothing because you ain't say it ain't my business.
For the record, he did get his final check.
He was already...
Nobody could ever say that we didn't pay him for the time that he put in here.
Before Sharp said anything, I'm hearing from a certain young lady that I know his wife is talking to at the time a complaint about a check.
Oh.
You ain't dumb. You doing the math. So the one other lady I might be talking to periodically that she's talking to, right? Because these two people are in the same location. So I'm hearing already some whisper about what you're not doing.
Oh, what? You're talking to Sharice Mills?
That's a fact.
Okay.
So I'm hearing some whisper about what you're not doing already, right? When it comes to Brick. So once Sharp said it, I knew they said that to Sharp. Because it was already being whispered
You're
about.
now making me feel like I got sort of finessed on the phone.
Definitely, that's what Brick does. You know he does
He's
that.
good, yeah.
He does that with everybody. Woo. Ah, man, you know, I ain't mean nothing. He ain't like that. It just, that's what he does, right? And I didn't understand why he was doing it, because I'm like, hey, yo, you might need Adam to send a letter in to the court, so you might, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep a guide in your corner that, at least Adam will make sure you got some deodorant and some commissary every month. He that type of dude. Y'all got that type of relationship to where, bro, like, you know what, you need 150 a month, man, to go to the store. Hey, that's big, knowing you got somebody on the street that'll send you 100 a month when you doing time. That makes sure you got lotion, toothpaste, your deodorant, and something to snack on at least, right? Like, why would you burn that bridge like that?
My thing is that regardless of what he may have done or not done, and if he's been upfront with me about certain things, it's like I can't fully say bon voyage to the Brick Man while he's locked up in prison. It just doesn't feel right. I gotta hold him down. We can scrap when he gets out. We can address all of our issues.
You can do it how you want to do. I'm gonna say this. Sharp wasn't lying. because what Sharp said, I was already hearing that he said prior to Sharp saying it. So that ain't nothing Sharp gonna lie about anyway. Sharp not just gonna come out and start talking about what you ain't doing for Brick.
I kind of disagree. I think Sharp talks out of his ass all the time.
No, he would have said, "I bet Adam didn't." That would have been his conversation.
He's not smart enough
if
to
he was
lie.
speculating.
Yeah.
I bet Adam did if he was just on one. But him saying Brick called and I talked to the wife or whatever, and they tell me what's happening with this, what's happening.
Sharp knows exactly what the fuck's going on with Adam. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He knows exactly how Adam moves and shit like that. So, like, obviously he's not lying. Brick's just bitching behind the wall. And it's kind of a scumbag move on Adam's part, though. Like, you know what I mean? They're kind of both in the wrong in some ways, but Adam's a bit more of a scumbag about it. Let's just be real.
With that, the reason why Brick thought he could trauma bond with Sharp is why. Sharp played himself out of his last check, which he was paid. He just was paid another way.
He's on that dumpster. We sent him an invoice.
You get what I'm saying?
Which, by the way, we're going to f*** your credit up if you don't pay that invoice.
So you got to understand, he thought, okay, I can call over here with this. He can't call over there to Loose too much because Loose them grinding. They still getting the bag.
Right. You know, he told me earlier on the phone that he tried to get Luce to squabble him 8 different times while behind bars, and that Luce was not having it. And that Luce is now in a separate part of the prison with Dirk. I guess that's where they put the celebrities, like Luce Cannon and Dirk.
So let me get this right.
Right.
Brick is claiming Luce turned down the fade.
8 times.
That's cap.
You don't believe that?
No.
They were never cellies. Luce was lying about that, I guess.
No, they was both lying about that.
They were playing.
That was weird. I mean, I knew they was in the same general area because we can hear them there talking. We knew that. But as far as them being celly, I just think they was in there, hey, man, we're going to run the contest, going to make people talk.
Yeah.
Really, I think...
They got all the time in the world to talk about how to make people talk about them.
Yeah, I think that's what was going on with
them. They're both so content-brained now.
I don't believe that... For one, I'm going to be real. I don't believe... Listen, I don't think Brick could whoop Luce. I think Brick will fight Luce. I think Brick, from listening to Brick, I think he has some situations going on where fighting is not really too safe for him.
Well, he got and he can't like ball his fist up as well as he probably would want to, but that's from forever ago. So I mean,
well, whatever's going on with him, I know he has some. And I had to tell myself this, like, Wack, you ever run into him, dude? It's not all the way like I know he got the heart to fight, but I know he has. He has some things going on that may hinder.
Don't turn him into a T-Rail. He ain't a real handicap like T-Rail.
Shit, bro, if you got some movement problems, and I'm going to be real, I wouldn't want to fight Brick just based upon knowing he got some things, that neck lead to the spine. Yeah. And I'm going to be real, I don't want to be the dude to where, because we had a squabble behind podcast.
So you don't want to him because you're afraid that you will physically destroy him to the extent where he's not able to pick up a 10-pound child.
Yeah,
that's so big of you.
No, for real though, bro. I mean, because if it's over some podcast stuff, like, I don't want to be the one looking up, and he like our guy, Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Christopher Reeves. Yeah, I would breaking to Christopher Reeves. Wow.
I wouldn't feel good about, bro. I really wouldn't. Where I'm at mentally,
Wack, shut the fuck up, buddy. You're not doing that, dude.
I'm the type of dude that even if he was to come at me, I may tag him up a little bit and say, "Go on, man, like go on," because I know if it gets serious, I black out in him fight. It makes fighting over the dice game, but my mind goes to my mom kidnapped my daughter. Everything lies on this fight.
Well, that seems a little extreme.
No, this is my mental,
right?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because coming up as a power rule in the system, in my area, it wasn't popular. In my area, it's popular now. When you walk in there, you had to be damn near out of your mind to let that come out your mouth. Y'all number 5, 6 to 1. So you had to tune into your mental, right? Numb yourself, reach deep down inside, and find that extra to be able to go in there and do that. Because a head up was like, if you got a 3-on-1, that's close you got to a head up.
Well, I'm glad that we've established that I'm essentially like the battered wife who keeps coming back for more from my abusive husband, Brick Baby.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, shit looking serious, brother. I'm glad that
Adam and his
Jumper
fake
had my
fucking
back
laugh.
for
I
the
can't
first time.
stand that shit, dude.
Because every time something comes up, allegedly
Fuck,
bullshit, right?
shut
It
up,
goes up.
Adam.
So I'm watching yesterday, not the other day, and I see they're reporting on Big U calls Donald Trump the orange guy, and he thinks he can use the president to get out of this, right?
This is probably the most retarded theory I've ever heard.
Well, this
in
is
my
what he
entire
said.
life.
Well, he probably think he can get a hold to a certain person that's accessible to
Donald
people.
Trump has pardoned quite a few rappers and a lot of people in general. None of them have been for murder.
Yeah. Well,
Which, not to mention, he hasn't even been found guilty of, gone to trial. So
none of them been looking at 600 years.
And yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
So,
600
I'm sitting
years.
back saying, oh, they can report on this, but then I seen it. The AUSA, the DA, whatever they call them in the feds, said, you said Wack 100 and 600 were working for the feds and has something to do with your case.
Yeah.
And that is an outright lie. We go on record. We have no dealings with these things to put a target on their back. So because he said it and they know it's not to be true, they're like, you said, so they say you're still trying to operate within violence. This is what they're saying.
I mean, honestly, yeah. That's
what he was doing.
The justice system having your back. Kind of nice.
No, it's not even about having my back. It's about when that DA, people really don't know how to read, right? Because when he looks in the camera and says, but you read the paperwork and you see January feds serve a warrant on you for your DNA. August 2023, the feds arrest you, your wife, and a lady named Nita for some type of fraud type of stuff. So in 2025 of March, we just gonna leave it right there. When you look in the camera and say, this is Wack 600 in loose cannon, because I ain't did nothing. Boy, you'd have been hemmed up 4 times in the last 2 years by the FBI. What do you mean?
Right.
You didn't do nothing.
It's hard to say you ain't done
You're oblivious, like you're supposed to look in the camera and say, well, I had a few situations going on, boom, 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 bam. So, it's crazy, when you read these type of things and you scratch your head, you say, damn, the hate is really real, bro.
What do you feel about Christopher Lovejoy? You bail.
About 8 o'clock that morning.
Really?
And
so that was last minute?
Yeah, Day was at 11:30.
That is some flagrant shit for him to do, given the that you and the people associated with Joy is so fearless that he just shows up.
Okay.
This feels like a provocation. Like he's trying to get somebody to do something to him.
No, here's the thing. He's in there because he want to hear what's going on.
Okay. So he's
right?
an independent journalist.
He want to know what's going on, and that's how we was able to know what went on before the documents came out, before the minute orders came out, because he was in there. You know what I mean? Like, in the hallway. I got all that content.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got the content.
He recorded it?
Oh, well, you got the content.
Someone else recorded it? Someone there? Why didn't you go? You could have gone, right?
Well, I was out of town. I don't really deal with court buildings unless I got to take somebody's wife or mother or kids. Stepping into the court with
6-0 business.
Or I got to go.
You don't want to involve yourself.
Or I got to go support. My people. I'm gonna be real, man. When it comes to everything Big U got going on, that's what he had going on. But I'm not. It kind of like it took me up to see he was looking at 600 years. You know what I'm saying? Because
did 600 request that?
No, I don't know what the hell that's.
600 years. They call me.
You gotta remember,
they call me 600. Give them 600 years.
You gotta remember. When I hear that. Like his daughter, you know what I'm saying? And his kid, you know what I'm saying? Like
Wack trying to seem sympathetic. You don't give a fuck, buddy.
Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't got that type of malice in my heart to be like, yo, give him life or give him 600 years or whatever. You know, he was doing whatever he was doing.
But you were kind of celebrating him having this case before it was announced
no,
publicly.
No, I didn't. I never
Yes,
celebrated.
you were.
Sort of preemptively celebrated it.
How? How was I celebrating?
You were talking about it on here. You were like ranting and raving about how he was going down, and then it actually happened.
No, I never. No, I've always said the grid program, and the grid program's in there.
Right.
We've been advocates of that. That's what that is, and we don't agree with what that stands for. Being a street dude in the street, because you playing both sides of the fence. It's like, all right, on this side, I'm this, but then when I get into it with these dudes on these blocks, right, I can use that. You get what I'm saying? If you ran the grid, I wouldn't have nothing to say, because you're walking a different walk. But a dude that's calling himself running the hood, and you doing things, bro, you can't be in business with the police department.
Right.
You can't, and nothing about it makes sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, on that, we've always stood on that. As far as when we heard about the murder and the investigation, hey, bro, you know one thing, you know when the troll is on, the troll is on.
I hear that. I tried to.
The troll is on.
So the victim's mother, Rayshawn's mother, actually did TMZ and spoke about her experience, saying that she wants him to fry. She says she wants him to fry in jail for the rest of his life, which I think she's like kind of mixing metaphors right there, because that's not really when they say they want him to fry, they're talking about the death penalty typically. Either way, but I reached out trying to lock in an interview with her and was told that they don't want anything to do with anything that has anything to do with Wack 100.
Well, maybe because I didn't give them no money.
Well, also you exposed the whole thing before it came out, which they asked you not to.
Listen, and I tell people this. This is real shit. My phone rings at least 50 to 80 times a day. All kind of shit. Other morning, some dude called me 6 in the morning. Yo, Wack, I'm in the halfway house. Don't hang up. I got a story. And I said, okay, what's your name? He tells me, I'm on the phone with the dude of the hour. This dude, I got to send you this shit for your channel. This is the most hyped, excited snitch I've ever heard. He's proud of being a snitch. He told about everybody he snitched on, why he snitched, and said he's in the halfway house trying to snitch down his 2 years of federal parole he has. Like, this dude was so excited. I'm like, damn. I said, you know what? You don't mind me recording this, bro, because the kids need to hear this. I got it. When I say this, you're going to trip out, bro.
The kids need to hear it so that they understand how much people are snitching.
Bro, this dude was an authentic street dude, all that. He would go out, right, and get a dude and say, bro, you should be a pimp. Turn him on to pimping just to snitch on him and turn him in and get the money.
Right.
Hate a criminal to tell on the criminal.
Build-A-Bear.
Straight up. That shit is diabolical. He's happy about it. Wow.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
So, but nevertheless, it's a lot going on. Brick, I don't know when he go back to court. Loose Cannon, we can't find his minute orders to his thing, so I don't know.
Did you hear Sharice Mills and Munchie screaming at each other over the phone?
Yeah, I seen that. Munchie, I gotta say, Munchie was doing right.
He was on.
No.
He was ready.
Munchie said 2-3 times, could you stay in a woman's place? I'm talking to your man.
Right.
So, you know, at that point, when you get...
Munchie be the blind blood.
Munchie say, I want to play his own, so I'm waiting to see. Munchie up to something. I don't know what.
She was defending the color of her bathwater pretty intensely.
No, but that came after, like, twice.
But, I mean, she does have a good point that it could have been a bath bomb.
No, I didn't.
Like, imagine her just being so dirty that she just made the water all
I don't know. I don't believe she's dirty. But I believe in that situation, Munchie and Luce was doing their thing. I believe right now, Luce Cannon is starting to understand is certain things he can't say on that phone. Really? So he was kind of handicapped. That was a reserved Luce Cannon. You know what I'm saying? You notice you didn't hear about him, what he'd do to him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
It is weird. Okay, when I see a situation like that, or when I see stuff going on with, T-Rail be beefing with somebody and his girl's all up in the mix and shit, I'm so thankful that I got a girl who's kind of reserved.
She doesn't do none of that.
All she does is random guys on camera. She doesn't get involved with the beef, which I really appreciate.
Oh, she gets involved in the beef, alright. She gets the beef big time.
Actually, no, your girl's in the beef.
Huh?
I mean, she's in the beef really just as supporting you. Like, she'll make a post about you when people are talking shit about you. She'll celebrate you and talk about how great you are, but she doesn't get in and say, hey, f*** you, bitch ass.
And trust me, she has a mouth. She is well trained, 100 side trenches trained. That woman could talk some crazy stuff.
Right.
She didn't pack me up before. Well, I'm looking at the phone like, did she just say that to me? I swear to God.
But you tell her that you don't want her, getting in the mix and screaming on everybody that you consider an op. You don't need that.
I've never had to tell her that. That's just her. You got to remember, this side of R&B when it comes to me is a learned thing. Her initial step is to be a certain way. Classy lady.
I heard
You know
R&B's left his ass, man.
She can marry people. She knows the book like the Bible like the back of her hand.
So
had her
she
own
was
church.
a minister, like
She had her own church.
in church. Wow, it must be weird for the people who used to go to her church to listen to you talk about fucking her so much.
You should see her Facebook.
Isn't a minister not supposed to have sex? Or I guess that's a priest.
You should see her Facebook. The people on there is crazy.
Really?
It's a mixed thing. You got some people like, girl, I wish I can be free and unlocked like you, look like you're having fun, enjoying. Then you got the other ones like, I can't believe you.
I could imagine, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Traditional Mississippi people looking at her like, whoa.
Yeah, she don't give a she don't care. But so her first step is always to be a decent woman. But she can talk, but she just understands man business, man business, man business. You know what I'm saying? So Munchie was attempting to do that. He was. I seen him.
Right.
You know what I'm
that was
saying?
crazy because as soon as really Lou started it, like there was no chance of that being a civil conversation because he started screaming some peanut butter shit right away.
But see, this is what's weird.
Yeah, I'll come back to this video. I'll be